policies too, for sure. If you don't say we have several more stories.
The legislature was carefully crafted to
22.2% inflation rates as of April this year. What does that say about where we are as a country?
I think Nigeria has resorted to being resilient.
Before you call the police station, before they even leave, they take permission from
I don't think there's really anything on ground to improve.
The struggle, the ASU strike.
Minister of Education volunteered and said, give me 2 weeks.
It was a life. The president never gave me any deadline.
All right, thank you, everyone. Just here to quickly apologize for the glitch with our broadcast this morning, occasioned by our technical problem, which has now been sorted out. Thank you so very much for your understanding. A while ago, we're looking at the Blueprint newspaper today, quite a number of headlines there, but we're just about bringing you the star headline with the kicker, Rivers crisis, lets Fubara adhere to the rule of law. Tinubu tells Pandef. That headline incidentally has two writers with it. Urges them to cancel governor on return of peace. Supreme Court case probe of orderly's tenure 18 years after. So he's going to do that, really. This is a man who left office in 2007. And 18 years down the line, Supreme Court now says, well, all is now clear. You can go ahead and take this man to the cleaners.
I mean, many have reacted, even describing the move as a way of a witch hunting the former governor, because what might have happened, from the time he left office, Mechi, Wike, and now they are coming after him. Is it the fact that he's now having a distance from all of those concerned to stand with the governor Fubara? I mean, I've continued to look at, the political interpretation to that judgment. But in a case, it also shows the fact that, yes, if every governor has to be held accountable by all means, yes, it should be. But where it happens that judgment is coming after a decade or thereabout, it shows some motive, because ordinarily what happens is that once the governor steps aside, EFCC has to do the proper scrutiny of the whole administration, the years in intact, not coming after. But the Supreme Court judgment, we may not have one or two things to say. Let the EFCC do their job professionally, see where you're concerned.
Okay, that's basically a demand on the institutions that are saddled with this sort of responsibility. Of course, that would be the anti-graft agencies, which in most cases such as this will be the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC. On a side note now, 26 die of meningitis in Kebbi, 248 cases recorded. The writer tells us Lagos confirms fresh diphtheria, begins vaccination. And then we take it down a little further for you this morning. Our demolished structures on Arterial Road 16 in Geshiri. Nigeria targeting 7% GDP growth this year. That's 2025. Nigeria targeting 7% GDP growth 2025. That's quite ambitious, no doubt about that. But again, it's credited to the Minister of Finance, who is also the coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun. Block porn obscene websites, reps tell NCC, that's the directive to say, look, we're quite a conservative nation, right? We try to be as ethical and moral with regards to how we carry ourselves. Therefore, we cannot afford these unfettered access to X-rated items or content, which we basically refer to as pornography and the ancillary elements that go with it. The last headline here at the foot of the paper is co-joint twins. 11 others get GIPLC's 300 million naira intervention. That's quite humanitarian and is a bit of a groundbreaking development there. But it's all we have for you from the blueprint. Let's flip it over to the Nation newspaper now.
And now to the front page of the Nation newspaper this morning. Big story. Tinubu to Fubara. Comply fully with Supreme Court verdict. Please go back home and help him implement the recommendations. President Hodges Pandev. Still a major concern coming from the River State crisis. The body language of the president yesterday was more of one who was given an advice and also urging elders of the Niger Delta to meet with Governor Fubara to fully implement the judgment and the verdict of the Supreme Court. That's a big story right there from the front page of the Nation newspaper. We also have a couple of NIMET predict intense heat in Niger State and attention report Senate to Interparliamentary Union, which is still sparking reaction. Gas tanker fire under Otodola Bridge causes gridlock. The ECOWAS activates 5,000 strong standby force. These are just a few headlines we have for you from the front page of the Nation. We quickly now turn attention now to the Nigerian News Direct.
All right, let's see what we have from the Nigerian News Direct for you real quick this morning. We'll begin with the first one here. Big headline says Nigerians react as Rex directs NCC to block porn websites nationwide. Those details await you on page 4 if you do pick up a copy of the News Direct this morning. But you're wondering, what are the reactions really? Are there those who are against this sort of directive? Well, what are the reasons? What is their rationale? You can read up those details on page 4 of the Nigerian News Direct. Senate urges INEC to conduct by-elections to fill vacant seats in Edo Central, Anambra South, apparently for very obvious reasons. First of all, Ifeanyi blessed memory passed on, and then that seat has become vacant in Anambra State. And when you turn to Edo State, you realize that the former Senator Monday Okpebholo is now the governor, so that seat is also vacant. Now, Senate has done the needful. The President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has now said to INEC and Nigerians in general that those seats are vacant, and INEC has been urged to, as quickly as possible, conduct elections, of course, by-elections into those seats. All right, there's another headline here with the kicker, part hustle. Again, Tinubu weighs in on Rivers political crisis. For me, I think the emphasis is on again, because the president had made this move previously, and that didn't quite pay off. Let's hope this will yield the desired results this time. Lagos confirms 14 diphtheria cases at King's College. Initiates emergency response, well, as it should be. Adeleke unveils 159 billion naira infrastructure projects. Those are basically your headlines from the News Direct this morning. Let's bring you more headlines from the Vanguard newspaper.
All right, on the front page of Vanguard newspaper for you, big story. Rivers Council Fubara. Tinubu tells Niger Delta leaders says he foresaw the crisis festering for too long. These are the couple of writers to that stories. And of course, I'm committed to implementation of Supreme Court's judgment. That is coming from Fubara in response to the president's advice as well. Suspend hike in ATM transaction charges. Reps tells CBN. Also have concerns right there from the sports 2024 World Cup qualifier race. Actually draws Musa Yanacho Okoye for Rwanda, Zimbabwe. And that's from the sports as well. I also have a couple of other headlines right there from the front page of the Vanguard, which you can definitely get from your vendors who have more. But anger has herdsmen, bandit, killed 42 in Benue, Nasarawa, Ondo. The concerns on the bandits, the terrorism is still on the high side, and the concern about how government can continue to tackle all of these bandits and the kidnapping as well from the different regions. But 42 has been recorded, killed in about 3 states from Benue and Nasarawa and Ondo. It's still also information for the security agencies to continue to up their game in response to all of those crises. Well, I'm turning attention now to the Nation newspaper.
Right. We begin the Nation newspaper with headlines above the nameplate for you. Top left corner of it says gas tanker fire under Otedola Bridge causes gridlock. Now find those headlines on page 8, page 6 I should say, of the Nation newspaper. What more do we have? NAMET predicts intense heat in 19 states. Natasha reports Senate to Inter-Parliamentary Union, IPU. Then the big one here reads, Tinubu to Fubara, comply fully with Supreme Court judgments. The writer says, please go back home and help him implement recommendations. President urges PANDEF. All right, so that's suggests that the governor might need help with implementation, and PANDEF now has been encouraged to give him all the assistance possible. Finally, ECOWAS activates 5,000 strong standby force. Those are your headlines this morning from the Nation newspaper. Let's take it over now to the Punch newspaper.
All right, here from the front page of the Punch, killing spree. Anger over headers, deadly attacks in Ondo, Benue, and Nasarawa. Punch report 30 killed. Under protesters reject attack government over killing. Benue Legi government secretariat palace rest. That's really a condemnable act, and of course security agency again should make sure to respond to all of these intelligence reports. ECOWAS defense chiefs activate standby force. Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso. That's still the aspect of regional politics right there. Marketers project 800 naira per liter has imported petrol cost drops. You can find out story on page 33 of the Punch newspaper. 5 billion naira vehicle purchase deepens Obasa Mirinda feud. Still on page 25 of the Punch newspaper. Tinubu Niger Delta leaders prepare plans meeting with pro-Wike lawmakers. A concern about the speaker Obasa return and the continuous crisis right there about allegations about 5 billion naira vehicle purchase is still a major concern. Even his comeback has also sparked as to the independence of the legislative arm of government. All of the drama that surrounded his external influences. The members reiterating their commitment to stand by what they did, supporting Mirinda. At the end of the day, we saw another drama unfolded about his return. Right. All of that has continued to also look at the fact that we must get our arms of government to be independent, because that's the exercise we have, the judiciary, the executive, and the legislature, to act independently without the interferences of the other. Why that happens in Lagos as well, many have said it might look to be a template for other states, which shouldn't be in our democracy. The lawmakers probably have also had to support now Obasa away from their earlier support. But a 5 million vehicle allegations and concerns about mismanagement of funds is still on the heat surrounding that. But can that cause for his removal again? We'll continue to monitor and see how that works. We'll now turn attention now to this newspaper for you to bring you more stories.
All right. First one here says Heineken Lopobiri, that's your kicker. The regulation of downstream oil sector benefiting Nigerians. Two writers with that headline says NNPC set to compete with best in the world. FG reiterates no plan to end Naira for crude initiative. So that initiative apparently is here for the longer term. Ondo confirms selection as preferred bidder for 175,000 BPD Trinidad and Tobago refinery. Right-hand corner of the front page of this day, hope rises for truce as Ukraine agrees to U.S.-led ceasefire. We understand that a 1-month ceasefire plan is on the way, so hopefully that turns out well. President Trump has said time and again that he's ready to resolve this issue as quickly as possible so everybody can go home happy. Big story here says, Tinubu urges adherence to rule of law, asks Fubara to stoop to conquer. All right. Quite a number of writers here insist judiciary's interpretations of nation's constitution must be respected. Charges Pandef to intervene, cancel governor to pursue path of peace stability. Fubara, implementing Supreme Court's verdict, not about me, is for good of our states. Declares crisis has cost parties huge resources. Ada George seeks peace. Do we have more here to bring to you? Well, last one, bottom left corner. FG begins construction of second Niger Bridge bypass. That's those details on page 8 of this day newspaper today. Then we flip over now to Daily Trust, which happens to be our last paper.
Right here on the front page of the Daily Trust, tax reform bills, reps. Committee proposes major changes. What does the writer says? Drops VAT, increase, modifies inheritance tax, sustains funding for TED Fund, and TDA and Nasini as well. These are the reactions, some of the proposed changes made by the House of Representatives in respect to the tax reform bills. Menegaitis Skills 26 in Kebbi, 1 in Sokoto. Still concerns to NCDC to respond swiftly to that outbreak. Life expectancy in Nigeria now 54.6 years below global average. That's a report right there on the front page, from the front page of Daily Trust as well. Tinubu to Fubara implements Supreme Court judgment. And these are the few stories we have from the front page of the Daily Trust. All the papers are all having the highlights of the meeting with the Pandev and Niger Delta. Many have continued to look at, was the president speaking as from the point of advice, knowing fully well that he has to give directive. Many are saying, as a president, you ought to give directive. Do this. Minister Wike, do this. Supreme Court, Governor Fubara, take this action. Not sending, the Niger Delta elders.
More like you're sending a delegate.
A delegate again to the governor. But the governor on the other hand said, I'm fully ready to implement.
It's not about me, it's about the people of my state.
The Supreme Court judgment. Even invited the lawmakers for a peace talk, even when they are declined about that.
That he invited them on social media. The invite should be sent properly.
And they even had issue with who signed the invitation, that the secretary to the state government is not the head of the executive. That if the executive are writing to the legislature, the governor ought to sign as the head. So a lot of protocol breaches cited by the House of Assembly. But what really concerns Fubara said, I'm committed for peace. What matters
whatever price we have to pay.
Whatever price we have to pay, we have peace. So, the president has also responded again. Many were looking at the side of the president. The president said, I'm committed to the verdict of the Supreme Court.
Right.
Go advise the governor to implement all the Supreme Court judgment.
Well, I think enough said, quite frankly, but we hope that peace returns to Rivers as quickly as possible, not just amongst the political class, but the entire states as we know it. We're taking a quick break, everyone, at top of the hour to be time to bring you the global AMEs. We have big conversations ahead of you. To stay with us on the program.
Do you know that Global Television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch Global Television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Welcome to our news live from Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Medik and Michael. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. You can also download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. The Nigeria Meteorological Agency warns residents in the United States, the southeast and the coastal areas of impending heat stress. The states that will be mostly affected, according to the agency, are North Central and the Eastern states: Kebbi, Niger, Kwara, Oyo, Kogi, Nasarawa, Benue, Enugu, Anambra, Abia, Ebonyi, Cross River, and FCT. Other vulnerable regions are the southwest, coastal areas: Taraba, Adamawa, Plateau, Kaduna, Zamfara, and the Sokoto state. The Economic Community of West African States has activated its standby force to combat terrorism in the sub-region. A regional body had in October last year hinted at the establishment of a 5,000-man kinetic force to tackle terrorism in the region. Speaking at the 43rd ordinary meeting of the regional body's Committee of Chiefs of Defense Staff in Abuja, Minister of Defense Abubakar Badawi says the activation of these forces underscores the collective determination of member countries to confront the threats of terrorism. BEST University Abuja has commemorated its 14th Founders Day, reaffirming its commitment to academic excellence, innovation, and leadership development. Our correspondent Shalaje has a report.
The event brought together distinguished scholars, policy makers, and students to reflect on the institution's remarkable journey and its vision for the future. The founder and chancellor of the institution, Senator Dr. Dati Baba Ahmed, who spoke virtually, reaffirmed the institution's unwavering commitment to academic distinction, research excellence, and national development, encouraging students to uphold the values of integrity and knowledge. In a welcome address, Vice Chancellor Professor Jamila Shuhara highlighted the university's evolution from its modest beginnings in 2011 to a leading institution in Nigeria's higher education landscape.
In our 14 years of operation, we celebrate today the following. We have 9 faculties today. The social sciences, the faculty of law, the faculty of engineering, the faculty of environmental sciences, the faculty of computing and information technology, the faculty of allied and health sciences, the faculty of basic medical sciences, the faculty of basic clinical sciences, and the faculty of clinical sciences.
The keynote address was delivered by Dr. Ruben Abati, a renowned journalist and public intellectual who spoke on leadership in a disruptive era, ethics, accountability, and the future of governance in Nigeria. Dr. Abati underscores the importance of ethical leadership, transparency, and innovation in governance, urging stakeholders to embrace progressive reforms.
The ability to respond effectively to crises determines the level of public trust in governance. Further, leadership must leverage technological advancement to improve governance efficiency. E-governance initiatives, digital record-keeping, and data-driven decision-making can enhance transparency and reduce bureaucratic inefficiencies. The integration of technology into governance requires leaders who are technologically literate and committed to digital transformation.
The Founders' Day celebration at Bayes University stands as a testament to the institution's commitment to academic excellence, innovation, and community engagement. As the university continues to grow, it remains dedicated to nurturing intellectual creativity and critical thinking. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
We'll now turn attention now to the National Assembly as the House of Representatives has ordered a total shutdown of porn website nationwide. It directed the Nigerian Communications Commission to enforce the immediate shutdown of the website in the country. The House gave the directive during plenary on Tuesday. The lawmaker suggested that the internet providers must block access under this new directive. Now, the First Lady of Imo State, Barrister Chioma Uzodinma, has been conferred with an honorary doctorate degree in public administration by Ezekiel University, Omodi, in Inquiry local government area of the state. The recognition highlights her contributions to public service and humanitarian efforts in the state. Our correspondent Amrachibe has a report.
It was a moment of celebration and recognition as the First Lady of Imo State, Barrister Chioma Uzodinma, received an honorary doctorate degree from Hezekiah University, Omodi. Speaking at the event, Governor Hope Uzodinma thanked the institution for the recognition, describing it as well-deserved. He applauded the First Lady's dedication to public service and her commitment to improving the lives of Imo citizens.
Let me use this opportunity to thank the leadership and management of this institution for finding fit and deeming it necessary to honor my wife today with this excellent award.
Governor Hope Uzodinma also commended President Bola Tinubu for his strides in the education sector, emphasizing the importance of continuing investment in learning and human capital development.
I must commend President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for recalibrating the entire education system in Nigeria, introducing scholarships, introducing student swimming program, funding primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions,
Expressing gratitude for the honor, Barrister Chioma Uzodinma reaffirmed her commitment to advancing programs that support women, children, and vulnerable groups in the state.
I stand before you today with profound gratitude and deep humility, honored to receive this doctorate in public administration from Hezekiah University. This is not just a recognition of personal achievements, but a reaffirmation of the power of education, public service, and the role of women in shaping a more just and equitable society.
As she marked this milestone, many believe that the recognition will inspire her to continue championing impactful initiatives for the benefit of the people. In Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV.
The Supreme Court affirms the Loki editor of All Progressive Congress as the governor of Ondo State. In the late judgment delivered by Justice Geba Lawal, the appeals court dismissed the appeal of the People's Democratic Party on the governorship candidate Abola Ajayi seeking to nullify Ayedituwa's victory. Appellants had sought to nullify the elections of Ayedituwa over allegations of discrepancies in his running mate Olaide Adelami's name change and also challenge the legitimacy of Ayedituwa and the All Progressive Congress. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party and the Rivers State government has kicked against the call by the fraction of All Progressive Congress for the resignation or impeachment of Governor Similaye Fubara. The development council, as Fubara says, he will not be deterred by threats but from those pushing to disrupt governance through the instigation of political crisis in the state. He warned against any act of lawlessness and insisted that his path will remain focused on ensuring peace. Kebbi State government has confirmed that 26 people have died in following the suspected outbreak of the cerebral meningitis in 3 local government areas of the state. 3 local government are Alero, Gwandu, and Jiga. The Commissioner for Health, Musa Ismail, confirmed these during a press briefing in Benin Kebbi. More on health matters, Sokoto State Ministry of Health has warned citizens to remain extra vigilant as the state witnessed rising cases of meningitis in some local government areas of the state. The commissioner said that the warning became necessary as most of the samples collected from the suspected cases and sent to laboratory for investigation by the ministry were confirmed to be meningitis. He says the ministry has identified surveillance, case management, and public health intervention to curb the spread of the dreaded disease. Angry youths in Benue State have set fire to the palace of Tenagi Chief Daniel Abomse and part of the Gwa West Local Government Secretariat while protesting the killing of 3 people. The violence erupted after suspected armed head has reportedly killed 3 operatives of the Benue Civil Protection Guards at the Garowa community in local government area. The bodies of the victims were brought to Dhaka in the early hours of Tuesday, triggering protests that escalated into destruction. And I just see Zetunde Pihero of the Lagos State High Court in Lagos, Ikeja, has adjourned the hearing of the suit filed by the reinstated Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Obasa, to March 17, 2025. Obasa is challenging his removal as Speaker on January 13, 2025 following allegations of fraud, high-handedness, abuse of office, and gross misconduct leveled against him by 35 lawmakers. The respondents in the suit include members of the Lagos State House of Assembly and the former Speaker, Mijisula Merida. The Independent Corrupt Practices in Other Related Offences Commission is set to probe the Osun State Government ex-Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftain Martha's Adebayo Adeleke as the agency invited him for questioning. Emir head to Adeleke Kazim Mohammed, who confirmed receipt of the letter, but his principal says he will honor the invitation to Mohammed, who said that the delegate was met with ICPC officials that brought the letter while in the premises of the radio station in the suburb of the state capital in the evening, noted that the ex-commissioner was not arrested as speculated on the social media. The police command in Lagos State has detained 2 Pakistani nationals among other criminals suspected for various offences committed from February 27 to death. The command spokesperson, CSP Benjamin Odigin, confirmed these during the press briefing at the command's headquarters in Ikeja. He said that among those arrested were 2 Pakistani nationals who kidnapped their fellow countrymen and demanded a ransom of 50 million naira. Enugu State Government has vowed to investigate and arrest individuals engaged in illegal tax frauds of collecting revenue from scavengers in the state. The Secretary to the State Government, Professor Chidibere Onya, disclosed this in Enugu. The crowd activities of the illegal tax force Onya said the state government will investigate the report and punish those parading themselves as members according to the provisions of the law. You're watching a live broadcast of AM News. When AM News returns, Paul Pogba's doping ban hands 6 new club. We have those details from the world of sport as well as business, foreign stories for you right after this break. Please stay with us.
Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Many thanks for sister with us here on AM News and Answer Business. The Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Atiku Bagadu, has revealed that the federal government was liaising with other countries to provide remote work opportunities for Nigerian youth. Speaking at the KPMKO Budget 2025, the Bagadu said that Nigeria is one of Africa's largest populations. He said the National Bureau of Statistics had revealed that the country's unemployment rate had dropped to 4.3% in the second quarter of 2024 from the 5.3% in the first quarter. And our compressed natural gas users in Abuja have called on the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPC) and the federal government to improve on the commodities availability across the country. Business correspondent Samuel D completes the story.
Following the removal of fuel subsidy, the Nigerian government has launched a presidential compressed natural gas initiative to drive the adoption of CNG across transportation sector, aiming to provide relief on the cost of living and reduce reliance on petrol. A cross-section of Nigerians have commended the president's initiative on driving the adoption of CNG, despite availability being a challenge. The price of CNG is more cost-effective as it is sold at 230 naira, while fuel sells for between 860 naira and 890 naira.
CNG is sold at 230 naira here in Abuja per ACM, while petrol is 800 and something in some filling stations. So if you want to compare, like my car now, it's 5,000 naira that I fill it, but if I want to use fuel, it's 60,000 naira that I can fill. So you can compare the difference. So it's very, very economical and very good and very safe to use.
Due to the lack of availability, some drivers express their grievances over the amount of time they have to spend on the queue before they can purchase the compressed natural gas.
6 in the morning, this engine would enjoy, but 6 in the morning, I dey here 5 o'clock, I dey do along, I know if you come out to work. The thing they very hard, and I beg, would they beg president, this way he initiate to us, it is very, very good. I would thank him so much. But the only thing is that advice I won't give government before you go bring something come to introduce to the public, make you try put provision in place first before bringing those things out. Now the thing they would enjoy, but to get at they very hard.
Users of compressed natural gas speak about the safety and durability of the commodity.
Depends on the conversion. If it's from a locally, although they have stopped it, the ones that happen in Benin is a local made cylinder. So since then we have not been having any issue concerning explosion. So the safety and is very okay for engine.
The availability of CNG station is a key factor in its adoption, over which Nigerians have called on the president and NNPC to build more CNG stations.
Nigerians have hailed the president for the initiative of the compressed natural gas, and they have actually confessed to the fact that it is way more cheaper and safer for them to use for their cars as well. But they've made complaint that availability has been a concern when it comes to the compressed natural gas. They've called on the president to make more availability and create more initiatives to have this compressed natural gas all over the country. Samuel Odi reporting for Global Television News.
And now from business from Sin, China has expressed hope and lasting solution to the 3-year war between Ukraine and Russia ahead of talks due involving Ukrainian and U.S. officials in Saudi Arabia. China support all efforts that contribute to a peaceful resolution of the crisis, said Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Mao Ning when asked about the talks at the conference in Beijing. The Economic Community of West African Commission says it has initiated a contingency plan to mitigate the unforeseen consequences of the withdrawal of Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger. The Commissioner Political Affairs, Peace and Security, Abdel Fatou Moussa, is known at a meeting of the ECOWAS Committee of the Chiefs of Defense Staff in Abuja. Moussa said that this formal withdrawal of the 3 countries from the regional bloc on January 29 required a critical analysis of the security arrangement within West Africa and the Sahel. Ukraine will present the United States plan for a partial ceasefire with Russia, hoping to restore support from its key benefactor. Uganda President Donald Trump has demanded concessions to end the 3-year war. A city's mayor says the talks in Saudi Arabia comes as Russia has ramped up attacks against Ukraine and Kyiv has hit back, including with an overnight attack in Moscow involving dozens of drones. And the meeting will be at the most senior since the disastrous White House visit last month when Trump berated Ukraine's President Zelensky for purported ingratitude for the East, including the border twins of Goma and Baghdad. He's too afraid to cross. Uganda's military chief General Muhoozi Kainerugaba says Uganda has deployed special forces to South Sudan's capital, Juba, to help President Salva Kiir to secure it. The move comes as tension escalated between Kerry and his deputy Riek Machar, raising fears that their fragile peace deal could collapse and a conflict could resume. Now, General Kainerugaba did not give reasons for the deployment of the neighboring states, but said that any move against Kerry is a declaration of war against Uganda. And I'll wrap it up with sports. Super Eagles head coach Eric Chelle has announced his final 23-man squad ahead of Nigeria's 2026 World Cup qualifying fixtures against Rwanda and Zimbabwe. The coach released an expanded provisional squad of 39 players last week, and this will be his debut matches in charge of the 3-time African champions. Paul Pogba can return to competition from Tuesday as the former France star 18-month Dublin ban expired, but he needs to find a club. A player who grades with midfielder at Manchester United and Juventus is hoping to put 3 categories behind him and is searching for a new employer with a view to playing a 2026 World Cup with David Baxwell's side into Inter Miami among his possible options. Now, the 91 caps midfielder suffered through repeated injuries and Paji from that led to his departure from the United in 2022. And that's our package here on N News, coming to you live from the nation's capital. You can keep track of our news on DSC channel 265 at Start Times, channel 276 free-to-air, and Nike side. You can also download the Global TV Nigeria app on your iOS and other devices. My name is Adika Michael, and then by 5:30 we'll continue with the rest of the program. And do stay with us. We'll be right back.
Do you know that Global Television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch Global Television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Do you know that Global Television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch Global Television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
All right, let's get our first conversation on the road for you real quick. That is a focus on the Naira for crude contract, which, like many other initiatives and policies of government, are saying, who knows, perhaps a little more than its fair share of controversy and headwinds. As of today, civil society groups, critical stakeholders in the oil and gas sector, and even those who are well, in the marketing space are saying that, look, with all the rumors around government's alleged plans to withdraw or renege on this initiative, the advice is that it should not, that shouldn't be the case. As a matter of fact, they are urging that the NNPCL and, of course, Dangote Refinery in particular must come back to dialogue, must come to the proverbial round table so they can do the, if you like, put finishing touches to this deal. Remember that last year, the president, who is the de facto Minister of Petroleum Resources, had said, look, going forward to bring a bit of ease into this, the downstream sector, there has to be this idea that Dangote Refinery, as well as other refineries in this country, should be able to buy crude in naira as against the practice that had been in place, which was to buy or pay for it in dollar. As it stands today, whether or not the NNPCL comes to this dialogue with Dangote and the other critical stakeholders, what exactly should we be looking forward to, and in what way will these benefit the teeming consumers of petrol in this country, whether individuals, households, or businesses? This morning, we're joined live via Zoom by an energy consultant who is also an expert in the sector, Dr. Wisdom. And Doc, good morning to you, and we want to appreciate you for your time with us this morning.
Hi, good morning. Thank you very much for having me.
So let's begin with, well, I don't want to call it the elephant in the room, but let's just say the nut of the matter, which is the crude for, naira for crude deal that is now becoming a talking point as if it was announced just at breakfast time yesterday. What exactly are we dealing with? What are the real issues in the mix of this conversation?
I think the real issues are that the crude for naira originally set up was supposed to be for a pilot period of about 6 months, and then that will be reviewed. And so we've come to the end of the 6 months period, and this is where we're looking at the review. The review, contrary to what was said originally, that this is a discontinuation, it is not. It is actually a review between the NNPCL, the government interests, and other players, which are, of course, meant to represent local refining, like the Dangote Refinery, the modular refineries, and other refineries. And I think this is, are we going to sustain the domestic, this domestic supply is in the naira currency? I think that's one of the things that they're going to be looking at as the firm of the New Deal. The second is, are they going to increase or maintain or decrease the volume that is allotted to the local refineries? And of course, is it going to be a 6 month review period, or is there enough sufficient ground in the pilot case to increase this period? So essentially, it is not that there was a discontinuation. It's just that a lot of people are, there was some need for that renegotiation with the original contract. But I think what has come out is because of the success that Dangote Refinery in particular
Evidently, we're losing a bit of audio stream there with our guest, Dr. Wisdom, and hopefully we are able to reconnect with him and then continue that conversation. You see, the energy sector, the oil and gas sector is as complex as they come. Most times, Nigerians are not, patient enough to understand the nitty-gritty issues in the sector. So for them, for the most part, they're just interested in how to get to access the product, which is petrol in this case, and then be able to also get it at a price that is reasonably affordable.
Yeah, the government have also responded and said, we are still together with Dangote, irrespective of the declaration, nothing has changed. Just that, recall, when the president had, brought out the initiative of crude to Naira
for crude.
Naira for crude, rather. They're concerned about the first phase was marked for about 6 months, which was subject to renewal. So what we're having now is the fact that Dangote says we are ready for renewal or we are ready for talks. But what really matters and a concern to many is has to do with a concern about even with the increase of crude production, but we're still having issues about importation as well. Can Nigeria not have, can we not have a capacity to rely on our own production, even with the increase and a lot of investment towards that sector? So it still boils for the fact that we need a more commitment. If we have local refineries, all of the prices fluctuating. The other time we've seen the fact that about last week there was a slice in the price. Somebody said, this is not sustainable. You know, we cannot continue to look at the marketers are losing billions of naira as a result of the fluctuating of price. So if you buy a product at 890 today, and unfortunately there is a price war between Dangote and NNPC, and then the prices drops, who loses? So what are the protection of the marketers as well, in which they have also argued from that angle. So we need more, because free markets sometimes will cause, push some problems both to the marketers and the buyers, because it gets to the point that, it works with fluctuations. Anything can happen. You wake up the next day, prices skyrocketed to 1,000. The price of fuel reduces to 600 now. So who is at the losing end? These are the arguments some of the marketers are really having, and we wish Dr. Wisdom is still with us to look at all of those issues. Doctor, clearly, marketers are actually having an argument, which I earlier hinted, about the issues of fluctuation of prices. The last week, we had the case of drop of about the prices to about 890, some 880, and 900, and thereabout. What is your concern? Because marketers says some of us are losing billions of naira due to these fluctuations.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you very much. I think absolutely it's true, but you need to understand that is one of the characteristics of a free market system. Today, they're on the losing end. But there's nothing to say that consumers may not be on the losing end tomorrow. I mean, if the prices are going up, now we have seen it before, Michael, that the trend, sometimes you have a price increase and then someone has bought an inventory for a much lower price, and they simply stop. The moment that price increase is even hinted, the refilling stations will simply stop selling to the public, and then we'll await the next signal from their head office on what the new pricing will be before they continue. So, in effect, from an economic psychological standpoint, you see that prices reflect immediately upwards and they are very sticky downwards. But be that as it may, it is a characteristic of the free market system. But I think what the different marketers are now asking for is a 6 months stability period for price review. But then that wouldn't be a free market system, because what you're essentially saying with the 6 months review is we're able to actually reduce prices immediately, but we're going to wait 6 months to do so that the marketers are happy. That doesn't class as a free market system, and we need to be careful, because there is a bit of an irony, or best case an oxymoron, when you look at the narrative from the oil marketers. They are saying we need some sort of price control and stability so that they don't lose money, but they're also calling for continued importation. And there's something about the international market. The fuel pricing there is quite erratic, right? On one inventory, you're getting fuel for XYZ prices. On the second inventory, your unit prices are on a different level. It could be going up, it could be going down. So the Dangote even affords a bit of stability more than actually just sourcing from the international market. And the reason you and I may argue that we didn't see that stability in the time past is because the government was paying subsidy. So those undulations were absorbed within the subsidy part itself. But right now, I think the marketers are not really unanimous of what they should be asking for, because if they're asking for all of this, it's almost like they're trying to cherry pick the part of the free market system that works for them. But ultimately, I think a review period shouldn't be more than 1 month. 1 month is enough to clear your inventory and go back, and then if there's any fluctuation in price, yes, there will be fluctuations in pricing, but it wouldn't be enough to knock them off business, because everyone is clear that anything could change within the space of a month. That's a better balance between their demand and the welfare of the citizens.
The sector, don't you feel that this may also discourage further investment? Because if people are having a concern about unpredictable market conditions, what happens to the investors? What happens to those who want to come into the sector? What is your concern about that?
All right. The first and I think most important thing that we ought to understand in this market is that there are risks and there are opportunities. So let's do a little bit of a SWOT analysis. A SWOT analysis will look at the strength of the Nigerian market, and the strength is that we have such a huge population and that energy poverty still subsists, meaning that we need a lot of energy. If we look at the weakness within the market, we still have challenges with regulatory oversight. We still have challenges with getting crude across to the basic refiners. So that's a weakness in the downstream market, and by extension, stability of supply is still a challenge. When you look at opportunities, there's still opportunities for us to optimize, whether it be cost optimization across the various the refineries or across our delivery value chain. There are opportunities, but the threat continues to be the fact that there are undulations in the market system. So, Michael, it is impossible for you to escape the SWOT of every business. This is just a risk of the business. It is a threat of the business. We are not here as business people to be able to circumvent challenges. We are here to face those challenges, mitigate them, to either reduce the consequences of occurrence to as low as reasonably probable, or even make sure that the event doesn't occur at all. But I think in this case, the best case would be to plan to cushion the effect. Do not forget that it's only a season. So why are we not hearing these complaints when during the timing when the prices were going up? Why is it that now is the time where the marketers are really pressing on for a stability plan? When the consumers were facing this challenge, why were we not hearing this sort of outcry? So it is a SWOT of the business. Either ways, somebody has to face that challenge, either the consumers or the marketers, but they can plan accordingly to make sure that that effect doesn't cushion them. But eliminating that impact, I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. It's part of the risk of the business.
This idea of Naira for crude is interventionist in nature. Others say it's a knee-jerk approach to fixing the fundamental issues that bedevil the sector. Could there have been a better way to get around these problems?
All right. I think you're right in some of those school of thought. And the way I would further galvanize my school of thought in tandem with what you've just said is to say it's a stopgap plan. A stopgap plan to make sure that we have enough inventory to satisfy domestic refining. If I were to be the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, what will I do differently? I will introduce a special bid round, and that bid round will be focused on getting bids only from the owners of refineries. And I'll give you context why that is important. So imagine if the Dangote refinery they have fields that has been concessioned to them, and they are given the approval to develop those fields. because they are on the receiving end of trying to source inventory abroad. There's no doubt on my mind that they will put in the required investments, develop these fields, and they would have both the feedstock and they will now have the, so think about it from end to end. The feedstock will be there from their fields. That means they refine what they produce, and they also have the outlets where they sell both locally and internationally. Now, why is this very important? What you find out is that if you put on Google countries that are the cheapest for PMS and diesel and the rest of the refined products, I think what you're going to find is that countries like Iran, for example, even countries in Africa, some of them, what they're doing is, because they are refining from the fields, the feedstock from the fields that they currently own, they're able to take the very rich profit margins in the upstream and use that to discount the downstream, provide cheaper petroleum products without necessarily getting on a losing end. So what we could find is the Dangote refinery could say, look, the profit margin, if we're producing oil at $30 per barrel in maybe the field of 35, and we're selling at about 70, that's about double the the production, the profitability. And okay, we are going to refine what we produce to even increase our value chain, but because the margins are so healthy on the upstream side of things, we're not going to really bother about margins on the downstream, or it will reduce our profit margins and then pass on cheaper products to the national market. So I think what I would do as president is, because this has been a success, I will call for a bid round. Call the big refiners, the BUAs of this of Nigeria, people like the Dangote refinery, and of course we have the Walter Smith, and they have their own field. We call them into one room, and then we request them to choose their own fields, and then they get a mandate on how fast they're going to develop these fields and the sort of preferential terms that they will pass on to Nigerian consumers. I think ultimately that is going to get us to a point where we're not losing a national inventory in Naira and thereby losing the opportunity to earn in dollars, which is what we really need, especially when we're trying to use our reserve, depleting our reserve quickly to be able to stabilize the Naira. So that's the best way I think we should get out of this dilemma.
The prices has dropped, but the impact is the same. Cost of transportation has not dropped. You go to the market, the prices of goods are still the same. What significant price can be enough for all of these to drop? Because if we argue that we had the product at 960 and thereabout, but now the product is at 900 or 930, 880, as the case may be at the different retail stations, but we're still having these issues still remain the same. When Nigerians says, there's some Nigerians who probably are not having a direct contact with the product, saying that things hasn't changed. We have not felt the impact about this drop in price. What is your concern about that?
Absolutely. I think I'm going to take it from a two-pronged approach. I'm going to lay out the concern that I have, and I'm going to also tell you why I think that is happening. Think about it this way. We're almost constrained to think about transportation
because lost the breaking transmission right there with Doctor. As soon as it comes in, we'll lay those emphasis, because the concern about, sometimes many Nigerians feel that whenever things goes up, it's very hard to find it comes down again. The issues about the fuel has kept us in a position where we're seeing that prices are dropping every day. Sometimes even it's a difference of 20 naira
in terms of pump
price. In pump price,
right.
And even at the retail as well. So why are we not having these reflected, on the day one-to-one, daily-to-day transportations and all of that? If we have price drop today, can we find a situation where one is going from a location you used to pay about a 200 and said, okay, fine, it's 150 naira, which
on account of the drop,
on account of the drop in the price of petrol, but we are having the issues of still buying the same and things are still being the same.
Some people just sarcastically say it's the market forces that work, but these issues are far beyond market forces. There are those who have talked about price regulation. Question is, even within the economic space, can you practically regulate prices? People say, well, government should regulate price. The FCCPC, that is the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, should regulate prices. But how do you really do that? How do you go to open markets, whether in Abuja or any state across the federation, to say you want to regulate prices? Because most of these vendors will tell you that, look, these are the peculiar circumstances under which I make my purchases. So it's not a one-size-fits-all situation. So how do you deal with these peculiarities as a government or even as an individual? So regulation is near impossible along those lines. But the question is, can we have reforms that are driven in such a way that they are not only aggressive and sweeping, but they are systematic? Because whether you like it or not, until the everyday Nigerian realizes that an item he bought a week or a couple of days ago for, let's say, 40,000, has now dropped to, say, 36,000 on account of the fact that there's also a decline in the price of petrol, and then it's near impossible for them to see or appreciate what exactly it is the government is doing.
Doctor, if you're still with us, quickly give us your perspective, because one may argue that we may have these prices reduced to about 500 now or 600 now, the case may be, but the changes in the markets still remain constant. All right, of course, we'll continue to look at all of those broader perspectives, to looking at the free market initiative of this government, the crude to naira negotiation as well, about the Dangote refinery, the Port Harcourt refinery, even when we are here to really know much of the impact that refinery is really offering to many Nigerians, which is still a major concern. But what really matters is, how is this directly affecting and impacting, the life of every Nigerian's day-to-day activities, purchase of goods, life of Nigerians in general, upon the removal of subsidies? About 2 years of a removal of subsidy. How far and how well? Even people are even raising concern about where are the savings from the subsidy? Even when the presidency said we have increased the allocation to state, we are doing this, we are doing that, managers are still having to question about the impact so far, just like tips of the highs, which is still not really affecting more in terms of positive impact on Nigerians. But the government and the presidency has over time and again says that we are on track and we're on the right path. Things definitely will take shape just as we continue to the 2 years, even by May, this government will be about 2 years in position. Doctor, quickly, before we wrap up the conversation, we were learning overseas about the impact. My colleague has raised concerns about regulators, see what they can do to protect customers. But what matters is drop of price has not affected, or is in no way, showing impacts in the economic sector.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, it may show in the what I'll call the non-heavy duty transportation sector, and that is to do with, say, you're using a bus to transport people, a PMS bus to transport people from one location to another. You may see that show up on that. But even at that, transportations are actually arguing that the cost of maintenance and generally just the cost of paying the new minimum wage to their staff has eroded any margins of savings. So it's more of a price stability than a price increase. So what has come as a price reduction from the PMS has really enabled them not to increase their fares. Rather, they keep it stable since last year. However, what I was trying to say before the network got me off was that if you look at the actual heavy-duty transportation sector, where you have the trucks a lot of them use, and even when you look at the food processing centers, a lot of them use diesel. And so if you're looking at the price decrease from PMS, it's not possible to take credit for same in those sectors, because you're looking at diesel being used for a lot of this food processing and the actual truck transportation of food, and not PMS. But ultimately, I think when we get our refining better as we get into the future, I see diesel prices dropping as well massively, and then at some point we'll be able to take credit on our consumer price index. And the other thing is, the final thing I'd like to say is that as I started out saying, the prices reflect immediately upwards. So if there's any fuel price increase, it will reflect on products immediately, but that's sticky downwards. And one reason is because the inventory that we're currently selling, right? The price increase is only about a week old, right? A decrease is a week old. Those inventory perhaps were bought to last for a month. So it will only take a cycle of selling off the previous inventory before we even attempt to see any price decrease in the consumer price index. But that is also contingent and subject to the future trend, because if they're about to decrease the price and they notice that the fuel prices are about to go up, then they will not even decrease it again. So that's the complex sort of interaction that affects our consumer price index vis-a-vis the price of PMS.
Dr. Wisdom Enang, energy consultant, would like to say a big thank you to you for your time and these very valuable insights you've shared with us this morning on the program. We do hope you have a great day ahead of you.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
We'll take a quick break at this point, everyone. On the flip side of the break, we'll push a second conversation your way on the program. Do stay with us.
That global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world.
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
and at the same time keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world.
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
All right. As much as we can, we make all the efforts in the world to ensure that we insulate ourselves from being so judicial with issues that we discuss here on the program. The row on the floor of the Senate about 2 weeks ago that led to what we now know as the suspension of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, and many other issues now arising therefrom have become talking points across this country. But again, like I mentioned, we try to go into the legal aspects of this development. However, just yesterday, we understand she has now taken her matter, her concerns to the UN, which also means that this issue has now been escalated beyond the borders of Nigeria. In the middle of all of this drama that has ensued, the Senate continues to maintain that her suspension is not hinged on sexual harassment accusations. Rather, that action was informed by her disobedience or refusal to comply with Senate rules. And they argue further that every house has a rule, and the legislature, particularly at such a level as being federal, cannot be an exception. Of course, there are now chances that in light of the 2027 general election, which as far as politicians are concerned is not far-flung, is also a factor in all of this. And as expected, politicians are now pitching tents over this issue, taking advantage of it, selling their own narratives one way or another, just to also propel their interests and, of course, drive that narrative towards 2027 as well.
A lot concerns defection of the former governor of Kaduna State, El-Rufai. Someone tweeted yesterday that Kaduna State is almost becoming the SDP. Some persons are defecting, following the defection of El-Rufai to SDP, the Social Democratic Party. How would this work in Kaduna State, where a certain governor is out of APC? Many have said it would look like a tall dream for former governor El-Rufai to get his ass and then get the party's SDP in place in Kaduna State. But APC have also reacted, saying that it looks that there is a pass of anger of the fact that he lost out as a minister of this administration, even when El-Rufai have come out to explain that I've once been a minister. He said, guys, I've been a minister. So I've once been a minister, I've been a governor and all of that. So it wasn't about not being nominated. It's about the values of the All Progressive Congress as one of the founding members of the party, in which he said APC has derailed from the ideologies that had shaped the party. For whatever that may mean for El-Rufai, is the fact that over time, many tweets, reactions, of course, comments from El-Rufai saying that if I leave APC, I'll stay with APC till I die. Funnily, many have brought out that headline as well, where he was making a commitment. So it gets to raise the questions of what politicians usually do, when they're in a political party. And sometimes we'll do as if they are more, committed to the party. But what happens when you are being tried? What happens when your faith or your stance is being questioned or is being really strongly tried, as El-Rufai is right now? Well, All Progressive Congress says we are not distracted. We are not bothered about the defection. We are committed to winning Kaduna State again for 2027, with or without former Governor El-Rufai. We'll continue to monitor and see how that can work for All Progressive Congress. But for Natasha, the Senate says have defended their suspension and given the grounds of the rules that she broke that led to a suspension, not of the allegations she had raised against the Senate President. For whatever stance Senator Natasha may have, is the fact that many have argued, can you bring out, if you have evidences to back up your allegations? Recall there have been several other persons that she has once alleged were not yet proven. Can you bring out some substances, evidences to back up your allegations against the Senate President now that it has gotten to international community as well, and which is really drawing attentions of the public, the general public, towards the matter? The Senate sit again today. We'll monitor to look at how the outcome of the plenary and the reaction as well, because her presence at the interparliamentary sitting right yesterday was contradicting to the one of the clauses that she must not appear as a senator both nationally and internationally. So we're monitoring to see what the Senate said about that move as well, even when many women are holding protests today in support of Senator Natasha. Away from yesterday, we saw her at Eagle Square, where numbers of many Nigerians, even students from National Institute of Nigerian Students, came out to support the Senate President. Today, many locations have been mapped out for Natasha. People that are pro-Natasha's supporters who be out in the numbers to support Natasha's and calling for the review of the suspension rather from the National Assembly. Why many has continued to look at that. Some says the priorities of the nation should be about the problems confronting the nation. Issues of tax reforms, issues of economy, issues of crude naira, NNPC, price war with Dangote, and generally issues that will better the life of Nigerians, and not some of these contents and concerns that are not really of the priorities. We'll continue to monitor all of that development and continue to bring feedback of the reactions of stakeholders as much as we can.
Quite interesting how the politicians can never be divorced from drama. Just talking about El-Rufai, I need to backtrack to that for a second. Well, El-Rufai is a founding member of the All Progressives Congress, especially given that point where the amalgamation happened in 2014 into 2015, and then there was the general election and what have you. Quite frankly, I mean, you don't have to be a member of the All Progressives Congress for you to know that he has been a very pivotal member of the party. Of course, that's the party that also gave him the platform and handed him the tickets to become a two-time governor in Kaduna State. However, there are still elements within the APC till tomorrow who say that, look, this man, yes, he may have been there from the start as far as the APC is concerned, but he's not, by their own assessment, a bona fide member of the APC because they say he has the DNA of the CPC because they see him more as a Buhari boy, so to speak, than, if you like, a consummated member of the All Progressives Congress. But I'm not sure all of these arguments will be as valid today as they could have been a few months ago, given that the man has now officially left the APC and moved on to the SDP. And one thing he has done, again, which many persons will attest to, is the fact that he said clearly the last time he spoke about, or one of the last times he spoke about these issues, that the PDP is not where he would go to, right? That the PDP is a no-no for him, and those reasons are best known to him. But some persons have thought, well, he was probably going to reach out with a handshake to maybe Peter Obi of the Labour Party or Kwankwaso of the NNPP and all of that. But the man has said that, look, one thing I must accomplish on account of this new move is to strengthen or at least build a formidable opposition that has the capacity and resources to unseat the APC come 2027. But then, of course, as expected, the media handlers and the minders of the president have come out to say, look, this is a pipe dream. It's never going to come through because you weren't much of a factor within the APC. And now that you have left, you are a lightweight politician. So there's next to nothing you can do in terms of unseating President Bola Tinubu in 2027. But then, El-Rufai gives the impression that he has a plan up his sleeves. But let's see what happens going into 2026, because by next year, we all know how it works around the election cycle. Things will start jumping off politically, and then you see all of the energy that politicians and their supporters, of course, backed by their respective political parties, will bring to the ring.
Whatever matters is the fact that oppositions, I mean, the momentum is gathering a lot, irrespective to 2027 politics. The NNPP has still having their own fair prices as well. Even the Labour Party are not exempted. Many are looking at the coming together, the merging of some of these opposition parties that against the ruling All Progressive Congress. Can that work? Is it possible to, I mean, that will continue to track. Even El-Rufai's defection is a signal towards the 2027 politics, which is usual for every political era to witness members of parties defect into the order, just to continue to prove a point in a way of driving some of their political ideologies and stance. But what matters is, can we prioritize the national development first for the remaining 2 years? Should opposition continue to engage the government of the day to live up to the expectations and deliver the promises of the party? Should the distractions of the 2027 become the top agenda of Nigeria? That is still what we'll be looking at as it plays out. But what matters is about how things and governance can be gotten right in the country for the better development of everyone. For now, everyone, we'll get to go on the break. And once we return from the break, we'll be wrapping up with the conversation here on the program this morning. Do stay with us. We'll be right back.
know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world.
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world.
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Welcome back and many thanks for sister with us on the show. Now we'll now turn attention to look at the suspension of Senator Natasha that is drawing a lot of reactions. And joining us is Honorable Mina Oxford, a member of People's Democratic Party, joins us live here to look at all of those concerns. Thanks so much for joining us. Now, the 6-month suspension is drawing a lot of attention. The Senate has justified the suspension on the grounds of breaking the Senate rules. But Senator Natasha is not resting, and even those who are supporting these are moved. What is your concern about all of that?
I'm really concerned about it because, unfortunately, the time that we're supposed to use to improve governance and also develop the country, we're using it. This is a setback again. The country right now is all about this sexual harassment issue. We're all going back and forth, and we're always at a crossroad. You know, instead of moving forward, it's always something else that is taking our attention. So it's really sad and heartbreaking that at this point we're still dealing with, issues that shouldn't be
So you're saying that the Senate ought not to have suspended the senator?
I mean, there are procedures and there was a court order. They should have at least applied caution. That's what we're saying. All we're asking for is a free and transparent investigation. And again, they don't have the right to suspend a senator or a lawmaker for more than 14 days. At least that's what I read that the Constitution says. So why 6 months? And then you withdraw her security, you stop paying even her staffs, her aides, you withdraw all that she's entitled to. So there's much more to this than we even understand.
Many have also said about some women in the Senate that are not in support of the senator. What is your concern about that?
It's really disheartening that
even members of your party as well.
Unfortunately, and I can't even understand why at this point we have people who, like I was talking to a few persons and I told them, look, if you're not in support of this cause because you don't understand what's going on, then just let it be. This is not just about Natasha. This is about the Nigerian woman. This is about the girl child. This is about our society. And this is about our democracy. We keep getting it wrong from the beginning of this administration. If not, how can women come out to speak against their fellow woman? So all of the 35% affirmation and all of it, in fact, we've never had it this bad. The 10th Assembly has the least number of female lawmakers. And then there's crisis. And instead of the women in the house to actually support one of their own and give her the opportunity to, express herself, give her the opportunity, at least listen to her and understand where she's coming from. I don't think Senator Natasha will go out on air to accuse the Senate President of something as serious as sexual harassment if she doesn't have serious evidence and proof. And I'm sure that for her to have got to this point where she has to make it public, it's something that has been going on, and she had probably been trying to ward him off and he has refused. And he has been, when you actually reject a man's advances and he decides to revenge, so he probably decided to take it out on her.
But should have talked to maybe the PDP minority leader. She has other persons.
You have just said now. You have just said now that some of our PDP members
are angry because she didn't. Ask to.
Would they have listened to her? Would they have believed her? She's a woman, first of all, and a beautiful, brilliant woman. Most times, you become a threat, unfortunately, to even your own gender. So instead of them to support you, instead of them to, welcome you and listen to you, none of them have actually made opportunity to have a one-on-one interaction with her to understand what's really going on and listen to her. Most times when you have a closure with a person and listen to that person, because I'm a mental health ambassador, you will understand where that person is coming from, that it's not something of one day. She did not just wake up to do that. It's probably accumulated anger, and she had no other option than to react at this point because it was probably getting out of hand. That is what this is. Remember, she's also a wife and a mother. She has her family. She has her people, her constituents, the people that voted her into power. She cannot fail them. She cannot fail them.
So if we have some concern of the past allegations she has made, to Reno Omokri and all that persons at the past.
Who is Reno Omokri in the first place?
Some said that she has been making these,
you can't take Reno Omokri seriously.
Allegations all the time without proving or having evidence to back up all of that. And none of these allegations have been proven right.
Yeah, did they let her? I mean, the case is in court already. There will be evidence to tender. We're going to get there. So what's the rush in suspending her for 6 months if you have nothing to hide, if you have nothing to fear? And then you even look at the caliber of people that are actually speaking against her. Look at their lifestyles, then you will understand that these are also people with questionable characters as well.
So you feel this suspension was a rush to silence her voice?
Of course, yes.
The opportunity wasn't given to her.
Yes. And that is all she asked, and that is all we are asking. Let us have a transparent investigation. Make it open. If you have nothing to hide, what are you scared of? What are you scared of? Let the investigation go on properly as it should be. If you want to suspend her for bad behavior, that she reacted when she spoke when she wasn't supposed to speak in the chamber. I mean, 6 months, for God's sake, who does that? We've had issues of when Her Excellency, the First Lady, when she was in the Senate, we've also seen videos of her own display of tantrums as well in the House, and there was no form of suspension or disciplinary action taken against her and all of it. So why is it Natasha? And remember, the Senate President has also once had sexual harassment issue when he was a minister of NDDC.
As allegation not proven.
It will be. He said he's suing her to. So we're also waiting for that, and she will also tender it. How can it be that he's the only one? Is he the only one in Nigeria that is? Please.
All right. And before we wrap up, I understand how emotional many women are on the matter, because we are also, as journalists, we are trying to separate facts from emotions. They are saying that opposition are using this opportunity to push for the agenda, that they are calling for the stepping down of the Senate President. That is not how to go about it. That it looks that this is sponsored by opposition, to distract the government of the day.
So why is this Senator Natasha, who she and her family are actually close friends of the Akpabios, why will they use her against the Akpabios?
But is it not possible?
It's not possible.
In politics, anything not possible.
Look, let's try and be realistic most times in our thoughts. Okay, let's try and be realistic. For crying out loud, do you know? Okay, now she's in she's with the International Parliament, United Nations, and she's presenting her case. Will she go that far? If it's political, if it's a setup, will she go that far? So, okay. So, opposition party also used Mrs. Joy Nunye when he was Minister of NDDC as well.
People are calling for the stepping down of the Senate President.
That is what it should be in any sane society, in any democratic society. That is what it's meant to be. Step aside. Look, nobody is saying, oh, yes, exactly, he did it, right? It's an allegation. And we have to investigate these allegations, okay? So, yes, ordinarily, you cannot be the judge of your own case. It's just like in the hospital, a medical doctor cannot carry out a surgery on himself. And most times, they won't even let a medical doctor, a surgeon, carry out a surgery on even his family member, How can you be the judge of your own case? It's not possible. You step aside a bit. If you have, look, listen, we have lost integrity in this country, and in leadership especially. We have lost dignity. What is there? Okay, remember, unfortunately, he has had an issue of this when he was minister. Now this is coming up again. Why is it only you in the first place? And two, okay, really, present your case. This is in court. You two go to court. And then you step aside and allow the others handle it. How long is it going to take? In the first place, they have the power. They are in charge anyways. So what are you scared of? And even the simple, peaceful protests we are trying to have, and because all we are asking is reinstate her, or you cut short the suspension, not 6 months. We are being attacked.
But they said there's a clause that if she tenders an apology,
why should she tender apology? Why? That's intimidation. That's intimidation. That's intimidation and oppression. That's intimidation and oppression. She has a case. She has accused you of something, and the same person that accused you.
She's not suspended for the allegation she has made, but rather the breaking of the Senate rule. And the Senate said if she apologized for the outbursts or the drama.
She's a senator. She also knows the rules. So if she knows that she has gone contrary to the rules, she will do the right thing. She's a senator, remember.
All right, before we wrap up, how do you feel all of these things will end? Is this the market in Nigeria? Because one Senator Natasha has taken it to the United Nations. Of course. Many said that's taking the matter too far. How can the matter be resolved amicably so that, because it's not a priority for the nation right now?
Yes, right now it's not about, listen, you see the problem I have with us now. When we have matters arising, unfortunately, Mr. President doesn't step in when he should, just like the crisis we have going on in Rivers State. He will not step in. He will let things get out of hand and get out of control. Okay? I mean, unfortunately, from the beginning of this administration till now, it's been one drama to another. We have never really got anything right. So now it has gone out of hand. It's now in the ears of the international government. So let's leave it at that and let due process take place. She's going to court with this matter, and we're going to see the end of it. That's all. Nobody should interfere. They should allow things go the exile. Because if you leave it for the Nigerian government alone, you know now. You know.
So you feel that you will get justice outside? You feel that she will get justice outside?
Well, at least let the world know what is going on in Nigeria. Is better.
All right, Mina Hobsfall.
Yes, please.
Honorable, thanks so much for joining us on the show this morning and giving us insight. We will keep on tracking all of that development to see how this works for the better of not just the Nigerian Senate, but of course, Senator Natasha, that many have continued to call on the review of our suspension. Everyone, that's where we'll wrap it up on the show this morning. Thanks so much for joining us on the program. My name is Adikin Michael. I was earlier with you. Do have the wonderful rest of your Wednesday.
Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.